Driscoll, Lynn Carino, and Jade Carvalho.
And a pleasant good afternoon on this final Friday of February 2021. It's the Big Ten at the Beach here on Big Ten Network Plus, brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint. Thanks for joining us as we have Big Ten field hockey action with the Maryland Terrapins taking on the Michigan State Spartans. With our broadcast partner Austin Urch, I am Matt Hatfield. In Austin, we've got ourselves an intriguing matchup featuring the Maryland Terps, a powerhouse program in field hockey led by Missy Meharg. She has won 7 national titles, 9 national coach of the year honors, has a gaudy record of 582, 142, and 9. That's an 80% win percentage in her 33rd season at the helm. 17-4 in 2019, making their first appearance on the pitch in 277 days against a Michigan State program led by Coach Helen Null in her 10th season. It's trying to spoil the party today for Maryland, if you will, as her team is coming off a 7-11 campaign, 0-8 in Big Ten play in 2019, but they returned 4 of their top 5 scorers, 15 letter winners, and try to get their first ever victory over Maryland, which leads the all-time series 12-0.
Last season, Michigan State actually had 1 victory at a neutral site game, and this being in Virginia Beach. This is a neutral site game. We'll see if they can do that again and possibly get their first win over one of the best teams in the country.
So we'll highlight some of the players to watch out for as we move along here. 15-minute periods today. We have a 10-minute halftime break. Maryland is operating with the black uniforms and the red, white, and yellow along with black trim, if you will, on their side of their uniforms, while Michigan State operating with the green bottoms, white tops. The Spartans working from right to left, Maryland working from left to right as they try to get the first goal of the day in front of their bench for Coach Meharg, one of the legends in the sport of field hockey, and she's got a lot of key pieces back from a team that made its 25th consecutive NCAA appearance, Austin, as you look at the likes of the Debordine sisters, Emma and Brooke, to certainly create opportunities for them. Brooke making her 70th career start, while Michigan State's going to hope that their goaltending play can be outstanding as they're led by one of the best in the country, and Jade Arundel.
Arundel is definitely going to have her hands full this afternoon as the Maryland offense is just so lethal. And last time these two teams faced off, like you mentioned before, the Terps came away with the win 5-1 over Michigan State. Maeve Clune and Emma Debordine scored a couple of the goals in that matchup. And last season, Maryland was ranked number 2 in the entire country during that contest. Now, don't believe the rankings are quite the same now, but they're still one of the best teams in the country. So we'll see how Michigan State will fare against them.
Michigan State trying to get something working with number 22 in white. That's going to be Meredith Ross, one of the starters today for Michigan State, as we outlined some of them for them. You got Arundel at the back, but of course you got junior and Madeline McDonough, Selena Ricardo, a sophomore defender from Pennsylvania. Keep an eye on Leah Sinesy. She had 7 goals in 2019, senior forward from New Jersey. She's going to be one to watch out for throughout the game, as well as Nika Blumsot, a sophomore defender who can create and also set teammates up. 5 goals, 3 assists. A few more starters for you: Devin Riley, Merrill Hansen, Kara Bonchak, the 2019 captain with 7 assists. Meredith Ross is also on the All Big Ten preseason watch list. Lulu Fulton and Ellie Wheatley for the Spartans of MSU. As we have gone 3 minutes in, no score. We'll give the starting lineups for Maryland here in a moment, but Austin, a well-rounded team for Coach Knoll at MSU.
Yeah, definitely. I would completely agree with that. You have so many strong players from all over the country and also all over the world. You have a couple from the United States, of course, and then the Netherlands as well. Even New Zealand.
Maryland trying to get something going with Taylor Mason. Yeah, that's been a common theme here. As you see, that one is knocked away by the goalkeeper for MSU, Arundel. A lot of players with foreign international flavor for Rutgers, which won earlier today, 3-0 over Indiana. And you're going to see a number of players throughout the rest of this Big Ten, whether it's on Maryland, Michigan State, or somebody else, with some flavor outside of the USA.
People from different countries across the pond in Europe and also in Asia recognize that the universities and colleges provide some of the best competitive atmospheres in the entire world for up-and-coming athletes, such as field hockey, soccer, and things like that. So that's why they come over here and they can continue to play and grow their career after all of the work that they do over in Europe and New Zealand, things like that. We've seen players who have won Club World Cups and national championships over in Eastern and European countries. And coming over here, they're looking to do more of the same and play against some of the best in the world.
Well put for sure. BB Donrat, who had 6 goals, 8 assists last season for Maryland, a junior wearing number 12. One of the players to watch out for in this lineup for Maryland from Rotterdam, the Netherlands. You also have joining her in the lineup Maura Verleg, a sophomore, Natalie Fletcher, also a sophomore, Kyler Greenwalt, senior, Brooke Debberdine, as we mentioned her, as well as Emma, a sophomore who had 7 goals and 5 assists as a freshman. 2 of the highlight players on this Maryland roster for Coach Mayhard. Rain Wright, a freshman in the lineup, Riley Donnelly, a junior, as well as Maeve Clune, a redshirt junior from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, Arabian Academy for her. So we are almost 6 minutes through, no score, and really kind of the filling out process right now, Austin, I would say, for both teams, trying to get their footing here on this field at Virginia Beach and their surroundings, and get something going here as Maryland has that one get out of their reach there, and the Spartans now looking to operate from right to left.
Nico Blumsat was able to sniff that pass out and quickly cut it off before sending it back to a teammate and start going the other way. But
freshman Anna Castaldo comes on and spells Maeve Clune, the redshirt junior now. That one will roll out of play. Another substitution as Sam Zivna, a sophomore forward from Frank W. Cox High School here in Virginia Beach, a homecoming of sorts for her. As you know, she's got to be excited about this return to the 757 Tidewater area of Virginia to get the opportunity to play at the college level to start this season.
It's always exciting when you can go back to your hometown, or at least a close area, an area close by. And we're right here in Virginia Beach. She's right from down the road as well, so
Cox High School's got a legendary program at the high school realm here when it comes to field hockey. Think back to many, many years ago when Nancy Phelps led them to numerous state championships, and that program has not missed a beat in years following her departure as the head coach of that program. And Sam looking to continue the winning ways with Maryland, which will be in the hunt again for a Big Ten championship. You would expect them to be right there, as that one is close to the net, and it will get away from the reach there as Maryland was threatening very deep in the circle and near the net.
The Maryland bench appealing for a penalty there, as they thought their player was run through from behind, and looked looked like she was, but rather both players just lost their balance kind of at the same time. It'll be a penalty corner.
First one of this opening period here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. We saw earlier today Rutgers take advantage of penalty corners, getting a couple of goals, and their 3-0 shutout of Indiana. Maryland trying to get on the board first here, as it'll be number 12, BB Donrat. We mentioned 6 goals, 8 assists. Her last time out as a sophomore back in 2019. She's going to put it into play. Good looking shot, and it won't go though for Maryland, as that was Taylor Mason, the junior, out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, that had a really good look at it, but the Terps aren't done. They're going to take another shot at this one.
Yeah, Arundel with a nice save, getting across the ground, blocking that ball, and of course the ricochet bouncing back up into the air, catching one of the Terps players in the head. It just bounced off. She's all right.
Don right here on the second penalty corner now. The Terps can't quite connect there. Close on 2 golden looks. And now Michigan State in transition the other way. Rather spry are the Spartans here. And that one poked away there as Leah Sinisi.
Maryland bench heard the thud of the ball against the wooden boards behind the goal and not in the goal, and they thought they were up 1-0 already. They'll have to wait a couple more minutes, possibly even longer, for the opening goal of the contest.
They really did think they got the goal there, Austin, and give credit to Leah Sinisi. She did not waste time to try to get things back the other way from Michigan State.
That's going to be a key part of Michigan State's game, those counterattacks. Of course, Maryland is always going to have those times where they go forward and they start pressuring your defense, but the important thing is to turn that around and get pressure down on the other side. And if you can get a goal off of that, a quick exchange to the other side of the field, you're in a great spot.
Arundel, as you mentioned, led the Big Ten in saves in 2019 with 142, also 6th in the nation in saves per game. During her sophomore campaign, the goalkeeper from Ireland for MSU is now. That one is shot just over the reach of Frost and the goal. That was a good look from Devin Riley, the sophomore for MSU out of Saline, Michigan.
Yeah, it was unfortunately just a bit too high. Was able to beat the goalie, but also beat the crossbar as well.
Good idea, good look, just a little bit off the mark in terms of the accuracy. And now Maryland operating along the sideline just in front of their bench, and that one is taken away by Clune Heck, taken away by Madeline McDonough. Now Maryland's going to put it in with Taylor Mason.
Nice job by Clune to keep the ball in bounds there along the sideline.
Clune operating again. This is to a teammate. That was Zivna. Couldn't handle it and get a shot on goal. Now MSU takes control with Minka Blomsat.
Blomsat last year led the freshmen in scoring with 5 goals, which is quite an impressive tally. 15 starts and 16 appearances out of 18 total games, so she's definitely a name that has been in the lineup previously for the Michigan State Spartans.
Lecter gets away from the Michigan State defender for a brief moment, but the Spartans now have it with Selena Ricardo. Maryland shielding it away from MSU. Stephen Bush excited about that as comes another penalty corner for the Terps. Their 3rd chance in this opening stanza.
Yeah, a wise idea from Maryland to send that right into the legs of senior midfielder Kara Bonchak. Bonchak right into her legs and earning another penalty corner. Going over to take it is Emma Deverdeen.
The Maryland team that got 10 wins over ranked foes in 2019. Coach Behard. some instructions to one of her young ladies in front of us here. All bundled up on this chilly day with pretty strong wind here in Virginia Beach. Here's the Terps' third penalty corner. It is not third time's a charm, as they thought they had another good chance at it, but unable to get it go. Believe that was, if I'm not mistaken, Austin Mora Verleg had the shot there on MSU.
Either Verleg or Donnelly, but one of the two, and it was just barely on the other side of the post. Had that been a couple more inches to the right, that would have been in. I believe that had the keeper beat.
You see, they're really shadowing Sinisi today, trying to keep her from igniting this MSU attack. And now, quick sub, as you see, coming off for Maryland are Mason and Emma Gerberdine. Now we've got Maryland operating on the far side, just in front of the rails where you have some spectators spread out here at the Regional Training Center. Double team unable to get through there, as you saw MSU's defense step up with Meredith Ross, the senior, all Big Ten watch list player for MSU. Keep an eye on her, number 22. Oh, nifty stick work there for Michigan State, as you saw Ricardo get involved in that play. And now you got a good matchup here as Riley is trying to scoot away from Zivna, the hometown hero, if you will.
Nice work from Merrill Hansen as she was making her way down the field before a penalty eventually stopped her from Maryland. It almost seemed like it was the only way they could slow her down.
We said this earlier before we got on air today, Austin, that we got to give a lot of props to, at least a lot more courageous than I am, a couple of the Maryland young ladies who don't have sleeves out here today. It is a cold day. Brooke Deberdine, the team captain, is making her 70th career start. She's a warrior out there. No sleeves on, and there's another young lady from Maryland. I'll try to shout her out here in a moment. I think is also operating with the right there in front of us, number 22, Riley Donnelly, the junior from Pennsylvania. This is just normal cold to them. To us, it's a little bit colder than normal chill, if you will.
It's very interesting. Perhaps they enjoy the cold and it helps spark them play and encourage them to move around, stay warm, things like that. But personally, I would be wearing sleeves out here.
So would I. But I'm not going to blame them. If it works for them and they have success with it and get wins, you don't mess with success. And as Michigan State will have a substitution here, come in here as Ricardo will spell Devin Riley now. But just under 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Still scoreless here in our Big Ten at the Beach field hockey matchup. Thank you for tuning in with us on the Big Ten Network Plus alongside Austin Herzog and Matt Hatfield. Broadcast brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint here as the Terps look to get the first goal on the board here as they pass the circle, kick it back out. There's BB Donrat. And that one by Anna Castaldo, the freshman out of New York, Endicott, New York. Unable to get inside the post for a goal, but here are the Terps looking to apply some pressure on this Spartans team before the end of the period expires. And now Michigan State has it, but only for a brief moment as Maryland takes it right back.
Maryland's doing a great job staying really spread out, passing, and continuing to move their own teammates around, move pressure points, and try to expose the Spartans' defense.
Well, some of the principles for Coach Harps, he talks about not just in recruiting, identifying talent, but building that culture and teaching the fundamentals and the technical skills, getting quick shots off, give and go work, and we're seeing them get some pretty good looks here, but Michigan State not backing down at all here as you see two defenders there right there shadowing Mora Verleg.
Verleg decided to take it herself, and doing a nice job there to win back possession for her side despite the double team like you just mentioned.
Like under 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter. And Michigan State's going to let the time run out here with no damage done. And the horn sounds the expiration of the opening period here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach with this Big Ten field hockey matchup at the beach. Our score It's 0-0. Michigan State and Maryland, a stalemate so far. Got second quarter action coming your way.
With Metro by T-Mobile and her new iPhone SE, Camila rules. She's working hard and working even harder for herself. Also, when opportunity calls, she can be ready for her dream job. You work hard for your money. Make it go further with Metro by T-Mobile. Right now, get the powerful iPhone SE for less than $50 when you switch. All on the full power of the T-Mobile network. Metro by T-Mobile, empowering Camila to rule her day.
All right, back here at the Big Ten at the Beach Field Hockey Opener between the Maryland Terrapins, reigning Big Ten champs, and the Michigan State Spartans. First time in 477 days. Terps on the pitch here against this Michigan State squad, which is trying to get themselves a Big Ten victory of major significance to open up the season. Thanks for watching with us here on Big Ten Network Plus, presented by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint with Austin Ertz. I am Matt Hatfield, and Austin, I'll put you on the spot here a little bit. End of the first quarter. Who's feeling better right now about this scoreless battle, Maryland or Michigan State?
I think Michigan State is. Maryland has had quite a few more chances than Michigan State offensively, but the Spartans have stayed strong, keeping the ball out of the back of their net. A couple shots just went shy of the post, but other than that, the goalkeeper hasn't been troubled too much. Arundel maybe making a couple of saves, but nothing too significant so far.
Good evenly matched play thus far here in one quarter of play. Both of these teams will be in action again this weekend. Saturday for Michigan State at 2:30 Eastern against Northwestern. That same Northwestern team will play Maryland on Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Maryland 18-8 all-time against Northwestern. They come in 12-0 all-time against Michigan State, which I guess some would call this a bit of an upset if they were able to get the victory here today. We've got 15 minutes of play for the second quarter, then a 10-minute halftime break, and then it'll be 15 minutes of third quarter and 15 minutes of fourth quarter action. If we're still deadlocked, there'll be a 5-minute break, a coin toss, and then we'll have sudden victory, if you will. 10 minutes of action, those four there, another 2-minute break, and then 10 minutes of sudden victory, a 2-minute break, and then shootouts, where 5 players in each team will participate in the sudden victory shootout. So that will be if it still remains tied after all that amount of play. And right now, Michigan State operating in the white unis with the green numerals from right to left, and that one will sail out of bounds and hit the fence just in front of us.
Devin Riley couldn't control the pass, just getting too much mustard on it.
Here come the Terps here with Greenwald navigating pitch here to something working. She's stepping in front of it, though, for Michigan State. It's Kara Bonshot, the 2019 captain, known for her ability as a midfielder to set her teammates up to score with 7 assists back in the 19 campaign.
All those assists came from penalty corners, so she's going to be the one passing the ball and be a key person to look for. If Michigan State is able to find any penalty corners for themselves, last game we saw that Indiana didn't have a single one across the entire contest. It was just Rutgers pouring on the offensive pressure.
That time a takeaway for Michigan State, and getting past 2 defenders, slicing through there for Michigan State was Merrill Hansen. But the Terps back on the other way with their transition attack. Here they come, shot along the end line. It's going to go out of play. I think Maryland is getting some good looks, Austin. It's just a matter of some of the angles and timing for these looks.
I think so as well. It's just a matter of getting shots off and putting them on the goal. Had these Terps been able to put some shots on net, I think that they would have been testing Arundel much more than they have been. I don't think she's really had to make a save yet, or a save of consequence, really.
Really applying the defensive pressure with Greenwald and Mason are the Terps here as they regain possession. And you see the bench applauding as they know they've got another penalty corner opportunity coming their way.
Immediately we see one of the Maryland coaches making her way over to the bench to grab a play card and note something up for her roster to try to execute on and get the go-ahead goal here in the second quarter. Just under 13 minutes to go before the half.
Here we go, penalty corner now for the Terps. Oh, off the stick and in, credit the goal to Riley Donnelly, I think, too, as it looked like Michigan State was going to stop it, but it bounced off the stick and went through.
Yeah, Nico Blumstead tried to make a defensive save there as the last line of defense past the goalie. Able to get her stick on it, but couldn't quite swing through and keep the ball out. Michigan down 1 to Maryland. Michigan State, excuse me.
I believe that was Riley Donnelly that had that shot there. As she just shot it through, and Michigan State, that was going to haunt them potentially, as they knew they had what probably should have been a stop there, and unable to come up with it against that penalty corner here now, as it's knocked away by Mason. Trying to get Sinisi a good look, and Sinisi had some moments in the early part of the first quarter, but ever since then she's kind of been neutralized for the most part by this Maryland squad.
The Maryland squad definitely was looking out for her, did their scouting report. She was the team's offensive player of the year for the Spartans last season. Also scored the double overtime winner against UC Davis a couple years ago.
See if that holds up as the game winner today, or will there be an exciting finish much like that one with Spartans and UC Davis with this Michigan State Maryland matchup now, as the Spartans have it on the move here with Ross up ahead. But right there is the goalkeeper we have not mentioned a whole lot about here, Noelle Frost, an all Big Ten watch list player, and certainly a hometown player from Maryland. She is. I think for her, she's got to be confident, much like we talked about with the Rutgers and Indiana matchup earlier today, Austin, that she has not had a lot of pressure come her way throughout this first half.
And even last season as well, only allowing 18 goals in the 17-4 campaign for Maryland last season. Over 78% save on the shots that she faced.
So a very solid performer, Noelle Frost is, as that one is out of reach for the Terps there as it sails out. We get a whistle.
Just looking at the rosters, both of these goalkeepers are very strong players and some of the best at their position in the country. So the offenses of each side will have their work cut out for them as they try to score on the defense as well as the goalkeeper. Defense adding another layer of difficulty.
Yeah, both goalkeepers probably come in with the mindset of, you know what, if we limit the other 2 goals or fewer, we can win this one. And I think Maryland with the 1-0 lead allows Frost to relax even a little more here, as Michigan State has not had a single penalty corner yet, have not had any good looks, if you will, inside the circle to this point here. Spartans try to get some of their mainstays going, like Sinisa, Bonchak, Ross, and Merrill Hansen, a sophomore who's got a bright future in this Michigan State program. There is Zivna trying to something. I'm sorry, Zivna's in front of us. That's going to be a mistaken her with the young lady down at the other end here. I'll give you her name in a second. Not Donnelly, it's the other young lady. I'll tell you here in a moment because she's closer to the view of our booth.
Oh, yeah.
How to play.
So both these teams utilizing their substitutes, and that's going to be really important as it's almost a counterattack of counterattacks on counterattacks and the flow of the game here. Occasionally Maryland has had some sustained pressure with aside from that, it's been pretty balanced.
Coming out in for Michigan State is Ashley Harlock, freshman forward from right there in Michigan. Getting by two defenders for the whistle for Michigan State was Merrill Hansen.
Once again, we're saying her name and remarking on her ability to keep control of the ball despite numerous defenders around her. It's going to be an important job of transitioning from defense to the attack.
Well, to that point, you hear a really loud kick shot from Taylor Mason. I think for Coach Helen Null, she has to like the attempt to establish some tempo, push the pace a little bit from Hansen and even Sinisa and others. They can get something brewing that'll really boost the confidence even more as we approach halftime here.
In a conversation before the game, Coach Null was talking about how the team is just most looking forward to going out and competing against someone else. You can practice some scrimmage between your own team all you want, but there's nothing quite like getting out on the field against another school, another university, and putting the best players that you have against the best players that they have.
So right there, it is going to be Anna Castaldo. Send it over to a teammate. And that time you see goalkeeper Jada Arundel having to scoot a little bit further out of her territory. And that could leave them vulnerable on the back side for a shot on goal here. As now Maryland has it. And that one is deflected. The attempt for Riley Donnelly has been very aggressive in this first half.
Nice job there for the Spartans defense. I believe that was Minka Bloomside who got in the way of that with her stick, forcing it over the end line.
That one bounces off the stick of Michigan State's Issa Vondervey. Now Donnelly has it. Passes it inside, right there around the circle. Falling down, losing her footing there was Bibi Donnerat. Mason checks out, and coming in for Maryland, Maeve Clune, and also checking in for Michigan State, you have Meredith Ross replacing Leah Sinisi. This is a really critical time for Michigan State without Sinisi in the game, not to lose their focus and fall down 2-0 before the break. I know you want to try to even it up at one apiece, but Maryland knows they can pounce here before the break. They smell a little bit of blood. They can really extend this thing out and take even more control.
Yeah, that one goal that they scored really invigorated the roster, and you could hear it on the sideline and see it in the attitude of the players on the field. They're pressing forward on the attack, applying more and more pressure against Michigan State. And it's been a while since we've seen the Spartans down at the other end of the field as they try to make their way down now. Currently, bringing the ball in from the far side.
The Terps now trying to cross midfield and get some momentum building here with pass over to Bibi Donnerat. Donnerat has it poked away by Michigan State's Kara Bonchak. Clune sails it overhead and past the goal. Out of play.
And that ball just got a bit too far out in front of her as she swung. It got underneath it, sending it over the goalie and over the crossbar as well. It was a nice look, a nice attempt. But if she can stand a bit more upright and get that ball a bit closer towards being under her, that one's going on goal and it might even go in.
Such great chemistry on this Maryland roster. The Debordine sisters, Brooke and Emma, certainly helping spearhead some of that. As you see right now, Coach Mayharg speaking with Taylor Mason, the junior, giving her a couple of pointers here before she returns to the field here with just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. The Terps leading the Spartans 1-0 in this Big Ten at the Beach college field hockey opener here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Michigan State operating along the sideline as it'll be lost and handled by Devin Riley and Maryland defender Natalie Fichter, able to impede her progress. And there's Fichter again. And that's going to be the first penalty corner coming from Michigan State, as Fichter was a little bit over anxious and aggressive there. Here come the Spartans now with a chance to potentially even this one up at one apiece.
We talked a little bit before about how Bloomsot scored most of her goals off of penalty corners. This is a great chance for the Spartans to put one on the board and equalize here. About 3.5 minutes away from halftime.
It'll be freshman forward Ashley Harlock putting it into play for MSU on this penalty corner with 3:31 to go in the second period. And did not even get a shot there, as Maryland was in the right place there. Sort of an errant entry for MSU. Now the Terps are thinking about getting one in before Arundel can save it. She took a spill, but was unable to let it result in a 2-0 deficit for her squad.
Looks like the ball got caught up in Arundel's pads and fell to the ground and couldn't quite see it underneath all her equipment. But again, still intercepting the pass. Maryland on the attack again. This one gets caught up in the legs of an attacker. I believe that's number 2 for the Terps, Sam Zivna.
We've called Zivna's name out a lot, also as well as Bibi Donrat and Emma Deberdine. You know about Brooke Deberdine making her 70th start, team captain, 70th career start, which is just remarkable at this level. But any one of them can strike in the blink of an eye for Maryland, one of the premier programs in the country in field hockey. And Coach Mayharg's 33rd season at the helm, looking to continue their level of excellence as one of the premier programs around. And that time you see the Michigan State defense ready for Mason. Kudos to Hanson as well as, well, that one's taken away. Madeline McDonough making some key plays as well.
Vandervey getting some encouragement from her coaches on the sideline about her great defensive play there, getting the stick involved, slowing down the counterattack, allowing some midfielders to drop back.
First game in more than 400 days for these two teams as they have returned to the pitch after the delay. And it's goal for number 2. That's going to be Sam Zivna, the hometown standout from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Cox High School. She gets the goal in her return to Hampton Roads, and Maryland takes a 2-0 lead on Michigan State with 1:23 to go before intermission.
We were just remarking about how often we've said her name and the impact that she's had on the game, but couldn't quite have anything to make up for it on the scoreboard, but now she does. The Virginia Beach native doubles the lead and puts Maryland in a great spot with just a minute heading before halftime.
You know, the Zivna family is proud today. Her brother played a couple years back quarterback at Cox High School. It's a really good athletic family, and Sam helping her team extend the lead before the break, and that is a big difference here for Maryland and some other teams that want to get to that upper level, Austin, to get a lead and build on it, not let a team get to halftime thinking they're right there with them. And that really is a demoralizing goal for Michigan State, which played them evenly for a quarter and change, and now Maryland has total momentum on its side.
There's just been a couple of chances for Maryland, and they were able to capitalize on those and sort of swing the momentum completely in their favor, is nearly getting another one as that shot glances off the upright. Again, I believe that was Zivna who tried to double her tally and just coming up a bit too far to the side.
Under 10 seconds to go in this first half. Michigan State going to lose the handle with Lulu Fulton. And And that'll do it for the first half. Our score, the Maryland Terrapins lead Michigan State Spartans by a count of 2-0 here in the Big Ten at the Beach field hockey matchup. Right here on Big Ten Network Plus. We've got some second half action coming your way in just a bit, but we'll step aside right here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach.
New DQ rotisserie-style chicken bites. I never thought unbreaded chicken this good was possible. I love you just the way you are. Finally, chicken that is tender, juicy, and flavorful all by itself. Thank you, DQ, for giving me just what I needed. DQ. Happy tastes good.
For more than 23 years, we've made it our mission to lend peace of mind.
Even when times aren't very peaceful.
We know that every borrower is unique.
That's why we put you first in every step of the loan process.
At Atlantic Bay, we are dedicated, now more than ever,
to providing digital tools, resources, and a lending hand.
To help you reach your home dreams.
Because we're here for you.
Whenever,
wherever,
however.
Ding, 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 winner.
You know what we could all do with?
Ding, 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 winner.
More winning Wednesdays. More first dates with zombie kills.
Ding, ding, ding,
more t-shirts that say winner on the front and winner on the back. You know what we could all do with?
Ding, 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 winner.
Ding, 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 my friend. Ding, ding, ding.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
Back here with Big Ten at the Beach college field hockey action with the Maryland Terrapins leading the Michigan State Spartans by a count of 2-0. Our broadcast brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. With my partner Austin Urch, I am Matt Hatfield, and so far Maryland unable to get on the board in the first period, but showing its resolve in the second quarter as they got goals from Riley Donnelly, the junior out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and Sam Zivna, the hometown player from Virginia Beach, Virginia, right here. Cox High School, maybe 10-15 minutes down the road from the Regional Training Center here, and Michigan State, which saw its goalkeeper Jade Arundel bottle up Maryland in the first quarter, now trying to make some adjustments to help her out and get the offense sparked, Austin, as the Spartans looking for a goal to make this thing closer in the third period.
I think an important player to watch will be number 6, Leah Sinisi, the forward senior at Michigan State. She's so fast, and we've already said her name quite a few times already this contest, but she just hasn't quite been able to put a shot on target and really test the goalkeeper for the Terps. But that's a big thing that will help Michigan State out of this hole that they're in, getting shots and just starting to pepper the defense, wear them down with all the aggression that you have. Play a physical game, but not over the edge where you're getting caught with reckless penalties. Just continue to apply the pressure and try to convert that into shots on target.
Again, both of these teams will be in action on Saturday and Sunday. In the case of Michigan State, they'll be playing at 2:30 Eastern Time against Northwestern, while that same Northwestern squad will take on Maryland Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern. The Terps looking to move its mark to 13-0 all-time against Michigan State and 19-8 all-time against Northwestern to depart from the Commonwealth of Virginia with a 2-0 mark to begin this campaign for their legendary coach, Missy Meharg. And in Michigan State's case, didn't get a W back in 2019 in Big Ten play, but I would say they have to be encouraged. This team looks improved with the experience they brought back. They're just going up against a Maryland team that can really turn a close game into a decisive victory, which is what their goal is here in the second half, to pull away from Michigan State.
In recent memory, Maryland has always been a strong squad, and this year is no different. They had back-to-back championships in 2005, 2006, as well as 2010, 2011, with 17 Final Fours and 27 tournament appearances. They have been quite a strong roster, and a lot of that is due to the head coach, Missy Mayhart, 33rd year. As you mentioned before, one of the greatest field hockey coaches of all time. And she really instills that into her players, how to play, what to do. And it's a recipe for success, and they have been cooking up championships after championships.
Yeah, it's no accident. They've got 26 conference titles under her reign, an 80% winning percentage with 582, 142, and 9, the career ledger, which is just astonishing in so many ways. We have more Big Ten field hockey action coming for you here on Big Ten Network Plus throughout the weekend. Again, go check it out all weekend long. Saturday and Sunday games will be following us here today. Earlier today, if you missed it, it was Rutgers blanking Indiana 3-0 in its season opener. Rutgers looking very sharp in that one as they appear to be a threat this year in the Big Ten. You're also going to see some teams in action this weekend, including the likes of Northwestern, as we mentioned. You're going to have Iowa playing. You're going to have Penn State in action. Let's give you the schedule coming up here for Saturday and Sunday's games. Saturday, you're going to have at 12 noon Indiana taking on Iowa. 2:30 it'll be Michigan State and Northwestern. Sunday at 10:30 Eastern, Ohio State faces Rutgers, which looks to go to 2-0. Iowa at 12:45 Eastern playing Penn State, and 3 o'clock the weekend finale here on Big Ten Network Plus with Northwestern playing host. We say host here, it's on a neutral field, but playing host to Maryland as the Terps look to continue its winning ways here. If they can come out of here today with a W and move to 2-0, they'll be certainly among the top 20 programs, you would think, once again in the nation. And I think the Big Ten's certainly going to have not just Maryland, but other teams. Rutgers we saw earlier today, perhaps somebody else that we'll see this weekend among the national elite when you look at some of the best around in the country in field hockey.
Very frequently we have seen that the Big Ten has produced top contenders in the top 25 from their teams in their conference. And this year, again, is no different. There's a bunch of very strong teams, and it's really going to be a fight to see who can come out on top and make their way into the NCAA tournament, and possibly if one of these teams could win the entire thing. I don't think it would be too far of a stretch of the imagination to believe that a team like Maryland could be the national champions at the end of this year.
Last national championship for Maryland was back in 2011. They also won national titles under Coach Missy Mayhart in 1993, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2010. It seemed like every other year or every year during that stretch from about 99 to 2011, they were winning a championship. For Michigan State, I don't know that championship is so much in the forefront of the discussion with them. But certainly if they can compete today against them, they'll be in better shape for the rest of the Big Ten schedule. We'll take a quick timeout and come back with the third period of action right here on Big Ten Network Plus. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so maybe we're new to home improvement, but we're determined. We got an insider tip on the ultimate flooring destination. Whoa, Floor & Decor is amazing. Look at us. We're shopping alongside real-life designers and contractors. I love this tile. And this one. And these prices? Look at this. Durable and water-resistant. We should do the kitchen next. Oh yeah, we found where the pros go. Now we're unstoppable.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
Uneven concrete on your driveway, pool deck, patio, or walkway is unsightly and dangerous. Polyurethane injection from JES is an easy, affordable solution. Protect your greatest asset and call JES today. Owned and operated by professional engineers, our team gets it right the first time and has provided permanent solutions to over 70,000 homeowners. Every job we do starts with a free estimate and comes with a transferable long-term warranty.
That's the JES promise.
Welcome back to Big Ten at the Beach, presented by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Thanks for tuning in with us here on the Big Ten Field Hockey Season Opener here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach on Big Ten Network Plus with Austin Urch. I am Matt Hatfield, and our score through 2 quarters of play, the Maryland Terps leading the Michigan State Spartans by a count of 2-0 as we are set for third period action here from this chilly Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach with a pretty significant win. Good to see the athletes, though, get a chance to participate in their first game of the season, first game in more than 400 days, Austin, for all of these athletes across the Big Ten. And such the long layoff, you wonder how much you'd see rust and some sloppy play, if you will. But kudos to both. I think Michigan State and Maryland were in position and making some things happen defensively. And you could tell they've been well conditioned and prepared by their 2 coaching staffs for this matchup today.
Yeah, no doubt that this is probably the longest time that they've been without playing a competitive game of field hockey since the time they were born to when they picked up a stick. I mean, 400 days, almost 500 is almost unheard of when you're one of the best athletes in the world at a sport. And they're coming back and they're getting right back into the swing of things. We haven't seen too many miscued passes like you were talking about before. We've seen a couple, but that's just with the speed of the game that's going to happen. That's not necessarily any rust from being off the field.
Sure, and a low amount of infractions to that point as well. I mean, certainly we're seeing both teams well-disciplined and well-schooled in their approach here. As Maryland now, with 2 defenders approaching on Mora Verlag, gets it away and sails it up ahead as Arundel and company will retreat here and try to mount some type of offensive charge at this Terps squad that, again, ranked one of the best in the country year in and year out. 10 victories over ranked opponents back in 2019, and they know whoever they see, they're going to be right there with them among the elite. And that pass, as the Jets fly over us here from Oceana at the Regional Training Center, Maryland on the move along the sideline as they will fight the congestion and try to reset here with just over 13 minutes to go in this third quarter here. The Terps have it on the far side with Riley Donnelly, who scored the game's first goal. And close to the net there. That one is bounced away, and we get a whistle here. Michigan State looking to advance past midfield, and it's taken away by the Terps with BB Donrat.
I mentioned a moment ago about the top teams that Maryland did defeat last season. 5 of them were in the top 10. As a penalty corner goes over to the University of Maryland. Another great opportunity to increase their lead really early into the third quarter.
And I know the viewers won't see this, but in front of us, the Maryland coaching staff with its play sheet for these penalty corners. As you've got Coach Meharg and her assistants, Katie Bam, Marvin Bam, Casey Tapman. They've got a system, and it's organized, and it works for them. It's why they're one of the top-notch programs in America for college field hockey, as this will be BB Donrat, 6 goals, 8 assists last season, putting it in here on this penalty corner. Shot is deflected on the attempt by Mason.
Yeah, Verleg was able to trap that, set it up easily for Mason, who's sent it into a defender. So another penalty corner for Maryland, another chance to strike.
And tough for Michigan State to have to dodge this 2 times in a row to avoid falling down 3-0. This will be Donrat putting it in again. Gets the signal. And unable to corral it was Maeve Clune in Michigan State.
So she's reversing the call as Michigan State didn't quite check the ball, and a dangerous swing there from, I believe that's number 9, Taylor Manson. It's a penalty, and possession back over to Michigan State.
I think you take that if you're Michigan State, because that could have certainly been a 3-0 deficit if they were not in position to deny it. And now the questions can be, can they get this past midfield and put themselves in scoring position here? And once again, the Terps in position to deny Michigan State from getting it past the circle here. Rain Wright, one of the first times we've called her name, the freshman out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Liberty High School up there. And now it'll be Donrat keying the attack along with Donnelly.
Donrat comes from a family of star athletes. Her dad was on the Dutch skiing team and competed in biathlons, and her mom played field hockey for over 40 years. So no surprise that she's one of the best athletes at what she does as well. I assume all that hard work, of course, paying off, as well as some pretty nice genes to have.
And no surprise she's one of the several Terps with no sleeves on today, as this cold is not affecting her one iota.
Nice spin move there from number 5, an athlete Facher.
Wind starting to pick up a bit here at the training center in Virginia Beach on this final Friday of February 2021. Terps now, as you see the stop by Michigan State. As that was Kara Bonchak and Natalie Fichter converging on that. Now here's more of Erlag. A very different approach in building a lead for Maryland and Rutgers today, Austin. I think Maryland has not really utilized the same philosophy that Rutgers did in spreading it out, distributing it that way. They've kind of been on the go, on the run, on the attack, more so than I thought the Scarlet Knights were in their win earlier today over Indiana.
And I think part of that has to do with how these two teams are also defending. Michigan State is defending very differently from Indiana. Indiana sort of just sat back and let the attack happen, and they would try to defend it in their zone, whereas Michigan State's being very proactive, trying to steal the ball away from the middle of the field and try to get a counterattack, but nothing has amounted to very much for them yet. That's not for lack of trying.
I think that's so true, and Donrat will put it in here for the Terps. As you see the little a pass from, I believe that was Fichter to not Donrat, that was maybe Donnelly perhaps. And that was Donrat, unable to result in another score for the Terps there. Michigan State making some adjustments to those penalty corners and denying the Terps from adding to its 2-0 lead here with just over 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Out of play, another ball will be put in here for MSU.
Anytime that you have a penalty corner, it's a great opportunity to put another goal on the board and continue to pressure, even if you don't quite score immediately off of it, but get the ball back and maintain that pressure on the defense and prohibit them from implementing any substitutions, so you have those tired players on the field continuously, wearing them down, wearing them out.
Bonchak fired one up ahead, and Rain Wright was there to stop it immediately. And you hear the hollering of pressure the ball from one of the Spartans to keep Maryland at bay here. The Terps now. Good move, one-on-one there on the run. And then you see stopped by Selena Ricardo. And now the Spartans back in possession with it.
There's just too many defenders in the area. She ended up being triple teamed on the far side of the field. It gives possession away. No shame in that when you're outnumbered like that.
Ashley Harlock, freshman, getting ready to come back in for Michigan State, as she will come on for Issa Vanderwell. You hear Coach Mayharg barking out to some of the players to stay behind the 50 here.
And I think that's Mayhard just recognizing how dangerous the counterattack for the Spartans could potentially be. We've seen it a couple times in the first half and through the first and second quarters, but not really here so far in the 8 or so minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, Michigan State's got them in a little bit of a catch-up mode as far as retreating here, as you saw Verlag trying to keep them from getting possession and controlling the flow back towards the Terps' goal. Here they go, Devin Riley. Switching it from left to right, and then it will
Here's a chance for Michigan State. Penalty corner for the Spartans as they have an opportunity to cut into the lead, which is currently at 2. Maryland is ahead. Goals by Donnelly and Zivna. Zivna also just made her way back out onto the field for the Terrapins attack.
We'll see what Noel Frost can do here to stymie Michigan State, as the Spartans have a chance to make things interesting here with Leah Sinisi putting it in play on the penalty corner. Keep an eye on Madeline McDonough. She's the closest to the net. Oh, and it's deflected away. Tried to get it to Merrill Hansen, and losing some. Is that? I'm not sure what is that? Not a mask, but maybe one of the shin guards or something of that nature for Maryland. One of the players down there. One of the Terps are hollering because it looks like they're going to get a penalty corner.
During penalty corners, some of the defenders that are in the cage put on masks just to ensure some more protection from the ball flying right at their face, and just in case it skips up, catches them in the teeth, they'll have something there so they don't end up looking like an ice hockey player with a bit of a
that would not be
toothless smile.
That would not be good. So it'll be another penalty corner. BB Donrat, 6 goals, 8 assists during her sophomore campaign, putting it in what Michigan State did not want to happen, going from penalty corner to penalty corner the other way without a point. Oh, and the Spartans dodge another bullet there as the Terps are unable to add to its lead of 2-0 here. The Big Ten Field Hockey Opener, Big Ten at the Beach here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Glad you're with us here on Big Ten Network Plus with Austin Urch. I'm Matt Hatfield.
Nice job there from Arundel to make the save, and the defense as well to come in and rescue the ball, get it out of play.
You can see why she's one of the best in America. 142 saves in 2019. Without her back there, this could easily be 4-0 or 5-0, having that protection on the back end, as the Terps are not daunted at all. 2 defenders. They kick it back out. Wright setting it up for Verleg. Kicks it over to the far side. There's Donnelly.
Zivna just a half step too slow there, half step behind rather, as she had the speed, just couldn't quite get there in time to prevent the ball from going over the end line. But even still, with a 2-goal lead, Maryland still looking to press the advantage and get another goal on the board.
And you knew Coach Mayarg was going to identify the city of Virginia Beach for a talented field hockey athlete, as she's got Zivna from Cox High School on the roster, and they're a program that's got certainly regional and national acclaim and appeal to it. As that one is deflected by Donrat. Here come the Spartans working inside the circle now, as you see 22 versus 22. Donnelly of Maryland in black against Ross of Michigan State in white, and Maryland wins that individual battle for the moment as they push it back their way.
Ross just had her stick up a bit too high and towards the head of the Maryland player. Dangerous play, and penalty goes the other way.
Hansen able to swat it away from the Terps, but only for a brief moment here, as they'll have it back in play inside the 50 of MSU.
Pass a little bit out of the reach by Donnelly, intended for Mason.
Michigan State has a couple of quick players, and one of them is Merrill Hansen. She uses her speed to open up the field, and she's someone that the Spartans could be relying on here this afternoon. Number 18, the sophomore midfielder, as Isa Vandervey makes her way up to the midway line to be a substitute.
Castaldo coming in, as well as Kyler Greenwald from Maryland here, as the Terps look for Donrat to initiate a scoring threat. Deberdine. Deberdine will launch one up ahead, and that will be swatted away by Bonchak. And we get a timeout on the field here as we have a young lady down for Michigan State. Appears to be in pretty severe pain here.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate to see. Immediately goes down and holding her knee and hamstring area right behind her. I believe that's number 18. Hansen. It's really unfortunate to see her go down like this, and any athlete really, especially in the first game of the season.
Yeah, you could hear Coach Mayhart yell for timeout the minute she went down. I think she got a good view of it from where she is on the sideline here, as now the trainer's going to take a look at her, and hopefully she is okay. It is indeed Merrill Hansen, as you mentioned there, Austin, the sophomore midfielder from the Netherlands. Was on the all Big Ten preseason watch list along with Kara Bonchak and Meredith Ross for this Spartan squad. And she is able to get up on her feet and is going to be helped off. That's a good sign to see her get up, as the limited number of spectators here at the Regional Training Center give her a hand, and she is helped off.
Yeah, clearly in a lot of discomfort, and of course we don't really want to speculate on what it could be. It's just around her knee and that area possibly on the back end, but it's just also on her face the disappointment that she's unable to continue for now, and hopefully we wish her the speediest of recoveries.
Might be done for the afternoon, I would think, with 2:48 to go in the third quarter, as it is back in play. Action has resumed here from the Regional Training Center. If we get an update on her status, we'll pass it along to you here on Big Ten Network Plus. And this Big Ten at the Beach opener for field hockey here. Michigan State trailing Maryland 2-0. Earlier today it was Rutgers defeating Indiana by a count of 3-0. Rainwright has it. Kim Smith covering her. First time we've seen Kim Smith, the freshman forward from the Netherlands, for Coach Knoll. They seem to be working on the lower right leg knee area for Hansen, from what I can see over here for Michigan State, as that will sail it out of play behind the MSU net to the right. Now the Terps trying to double the passer in Bonchak, and it results in another takeaway. Here comes Donnelly on the move. She's got it. Couldn't connect with a 2-on-1 opportunity as she saw Clune slice in there, but a little bit too much mustard on that one.
Yeah, the redshirt junior from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, almost on the end of that, would have been in a great position right at the top of the arc to possibly turn, get a shot off, as that ball bounces up into the hands of Kyler Greenwald. She shakes it off and heads back to defend.
The way Michigan State has had to get the ball up the field has been really problematic. Maryland's sliding so well defensively and double teaming when they need to. That time unable to get the pass was Devin Riley.
I think a great word to describe the Terrapins' defense is extremely disciplined. Like, they know their assignments and they know what they need to do, and they aren't really venturing out from that. Occasionally you'll see teams just as an entire group move over towards the side of the ball, and the attack, or the side that's under attack, because the near side is under attack now as the ball played across into the middle. Aaron,
look. As you saw Zivna close to a second goal of the day, and you're spot on with that. I think it's not so much even applying the pressure on the passer, it's the recipient of the pass. When that person gets it, it's almost like trouble comes your way. You have two bodies, sometimes three, that come your way. And the third quarter is in the books. Maryland leading Michigan State 2-0 here in this field hockey clash at the Regional Training Center. We'll step aside and come back with the fourth quarter conclusion right here on Big Ten Network Plus.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
With Metro by T-Mobile and her new iPhone SE, Camila rules. She's working hard and working even harder for herself. Also, when opportunity calls, she can be ready for her dream job. You work hard for your money. Make it go further with Metro by T-Mobile. Right now, get the powerful iPhone SE for less than $50 when you switch. All on the full power of the T-Mobile network. Metro by T-Mobile, empowering Camila to rule her day.
Big Ten at the Beach returns here on Big Ten Network Plus, brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Solutions. With Austin Urch, I am Matt Hatfield. Our score after 3 periods of action here, the Maryland Terrapins, reigning Big Ten champs, leading the Michigan State Spartans by a count of 2-0. Earlier today, Rutgers a winner 3-0 over Indiana. Maryland's next matchup will come on Sunday at 3 Eastern against Northwestern, where they lead the all-time series with 18-8, while Michigan State will take on Northwestern Saturday at 2:30 Eastern here on Big Ten Network Plus. And Austin, Michigan State trailing this all-time series 12-0 against Maryland, the dominant force for many, many years in the Big Ten in field hockey, and got off to a pretty respectable start. It was scoreless after 1 period, but pretty much all Maryland after that, as their offense was very aggressive second quarter, and their defense has been very suffocating for Michigan State ever since.
Yeah, it's been a rare sight to see the Spartans in the attacking third of the field back on the Maryland side, as they've been having trouble making that transition from defense to offense, and a lot of that is breaking down in the middle of the field. You talked about it before, how Maryland is pressuring not just the player with the ball, but also the potential recipients for the pass, and when you take out both parts of the equation like that, it's really difficult to move the ball down the field. And a couple moments ago, we saw a player, Meryl Hansen, go down on the field. She's currently back out with the stick and just applying some pressure to her calf. Might have had a muscle cramp or something like that. I saw her drinking some electrolytes on the sideline, but glad to see that she's back out onto the field, and that warrior spirit completely alive in her is hoping to reignite her team and make a late comeback here.
A welcome sight for Michigan State's coaching staff and Helen Nolan Company, as well as the fans for MSU that made the trip from East Lansing, the limited number of fans. And Maryland now 14 minutes and change away from a season opening win here, looking to not let up at all, as they have it with Taylor Mason dumping it up ahead to BB Donrat. You know what a playmaker she is, scoring it and setting others up to put one in the net. And now the Terps on the Michigan State third side of the field here, looking to continue to apply pressure with their offense against the congestion here of MSU. Bounces away, and Michigan State now in control.
So the defense for Michigan State has been pretty strong, but unfortunately there's a bit of a difference between the congestion and also chaos on the back line. There's been more recently chaos as there are a bunch of bodies back there, and they all have these assignments, but they aren't quite staying distinct and separated. They're sort of meshing and muddling together, which is an opportunity again for Maryland to put another goal into the net and put this game to rest.
Yinka Bloomsat, sophomore from the Netherlands, the defender who throws it up ahead. Now it's Ellie Wheatley, freshman. Bounces away from Riley. And now Maryland. And you see kind of almost a cat fight, if you will, there between Mason and Riley. And Maryland has it. I think they'll take that with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, Devin Riley there trying her hardest to maintain possession, but the numbers game caught up to her. She just didn't really have any options or anywhere to release the ball to. And that's one of the problems that we were talking about earlier is going forward, getting into that final third. They can't quite find the pass. The pressure has just been too much for Michigan State. Maryland all over the ball and all over potential targets for a pass.
Michigan State now with a chance here. Had numbers, but they lose it there. And down on the ground in some pain, we have another Michigan State player, and we'll get a whistle. Another injury timeout here. Was that Issa van der Vee? I can't tell from our angle. It is Issa van der Vee, the junior forward midfielder from the Netherlands. She, back of her head, she grabbed it first. She is going to be helped off, and replacing her will be Lulu Fulton, the freshman forward from Auckland in New Zealand. She's more than anything sore after that spill. And you see the matchup there between Donrat and Bonchak. A couple of proven players. Here are the Terps on the far side. And that's Selena Ricardo, sophomore. She's caught my eye throughout this one, Austin, as someone they can certainly build around to go with Sinisi. We knew Maryland's game plan was going to not let Sinisi go off in this one. And one of the younger players, the underclassmen, if you will, that has stepped to the forefront showing some promise today.
Before the game, the head coach Null was talking about how the incoming freshman class is allowing for a lot of depth and flexibility on the roster. They're more than capable players, and they can slot in at any opportunity given the chance. And we saw that right here when van der Vee is out on the sideline for just a moment, and also earlier when Hansen was out with her, what seemed like a calf cramp or something like that. But it gives an opportunity for newer and less experienced players to get onto the field, get some time, get some minutes, and possibly even find their way into the starting lineup or a starting rotation.
And speaking of some of the interchangeable parts, Coach Mayharg has that at Maryland. You see she's speaking with, a moment ago, Zivna, the sophomore, and another youngster, and Anna Castaldo, freshman, as they're getting ready to check in, providing some instruction. I think all these programs aspire to be where Maryland is with the depth and the interchangeable pieces and just able to be flexible with your lineups and your styles. Not just Michigan State. I think everybody in the Big Ten is certainly striving for that. And right now the Terps putting on another very workmanlike effort today as those two youngsters, Zivna and Castaldo, come in for the likes of Greenwald and Clune, a senior and a junior that'll catch their breath before either returning to action to finish this one off or get ready for their matchup on Sunday with Northwestern here.
And as those two came off the field, I really love to see this. They immediately head over and start talking with their coach about what they can improve on, what's going well, what's not going so well, so then their coach can make some adjustments on the sideline, and also so that they can continue to grow as players. They're at Maryland, one of the best teams in the country, but still looking to get better and be the best that they can be.
A lot of spunk there in Zivna, who was thinking another goal there. moment ago. And, communication is so vital. Even more so now in this COVID age where you've got your coaches, your teammates wearing masks. You can't be as physically close to one another and have the normal dialogue you would face-to-face without face coverings. I think it's even more essential, and Maryland well aware of that here as they look to get another shot here, and that one's going to be wiped away by Arundel.
I think that was Emma Deverdeen who took the shot there. I was talking about it before we came on air, but some assistant coaches and coaches at some local schools here towards Virginia Beach, one of them Christopher Newport University, the assistant coach and the head coach aren't going to be in the building on the same days. They have Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday and Thursday off different schedules. So as you were saying, the communication is so difficult right now, but it's exciting to see how these teams have adapted and will continue to adapt. And hopefully as things get back to the quote-unquote normal.
Well, it's the new norm in a lot of ways here as we see Maryland look to continue to burn some clock and maybe add on to its lead of 2-0 here. That one a pass by Donnelly that is awry and taken by Michigan State on the far side here with Madeline McDonough. And, sometimes you have to play in new territories. This is a sort of a neutral site. You're not on your home field for an opener or at a conference foes venue. We're seeing it all over the country, different, for professional sports. We've seen the World Series take place in a neutral setting. The same thing with professional basketball and hockey for its championships. Even here in Virginia with its high school championships for basketball, those are usually on a neutral floor and they were at home sites. So I think a lot of athletes, whether you're at the professional college or high school level, have adapted to that, as well as doing a lot of your meetings and conditioning and practice prep plans, if you will, through methods such as teleconference, through computers and Zoom and things of that nature.
It's so different from how things used to be, and really it's the quickest teams that are able to adapt and find a new way to succeed in this environment have been successful.
All about adjustments for sure, as Michigan State will have Emma O'Neill, freshman midfielder from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, check in at the next exchange. And here comes Maryland again, not slowing up one bit. They play at a rapid pace, and it works for them here in 7 minutes and change away from opening up the 2020-2021 campaign with the W. I think it's so strange to say 2020-2021 here in February of 2021, but that's essentially what it is for all these athletes that have not played prior to today since 2019. Pretty much the whole calendar year of 2020 was wiped off in terms of intercollegiate athletics for some of your fall sports, unless you look at football, for example. And even some of those, such as the Big Ten, had almost an abbreviated campaign, not the customary amount of games. As we see Hansen check in. Maryland trying to make it 26 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances this year. Another staggering number in their decorated program here as we get a whistle.
I think from what they've shown today, that's certainly possible. They've shown that they're very strong on offense, defensively as well, haven't let in a goal or very many shots at all. Frost has just been sitting on the back line and not really getting too much action, as Maryland even still trying to go forward before that pass is knocked away.
A moment ago, Arundel sliding to stop that attempt from the Terps. And you see that the bench pretty thin today for Michigan State. Not as deep as some other teams here. It's another play by that Donnelly. Yet again, she's everywhere for Maryland. Taken away by Zibna, looked to have it. And now Michigan State trying to come up with a solution here against this Maryland transition game. Moving so well from east to west are the Terps. Getting ready to put Clune and Greenwald back in. Remember, they were spelled a moment ago by Zivna and Castaldo. Terps have it with Verleg. Over to the far side, back to Verleg.
So Maryland is bringing the ball back defensively, and that's slowly stretching the Michigan State defense forward as they make their way up towards the middle of the field, opening them up for a possible attack. So even when they're coming backwards, they're still looking to go forwards and creating separation in the middle of the field.
Sinisi comes in for Issa Vandervey. And now MSU is, I think, realizing that the time is running short for them to do something here. They have not gotten, one penalty corner this whole second half?
Yeah, one, maybe two, and honestly, that's just not enough. And that is not able to get you the number of goals that you need to beat a strong team like Maryland. Not to mention just the lack of shots that have been on the board.
Looks like we have a timeout. I think the official might have called for one for a moment here.
Possibly making their way over towards the corner of the field to get another look, a video assistant referee.
Yeah, we're going to have another challenge replay here. So we'll take a look at the officials on that one. Unless you're getting a penalty stroke or a 16-yard hit, I don't know how you're going to score on this Maryland team, more than once this year. It's going to be hard for people but just the way they play, the way that they're functioning here, they look like they're in mid-season form for an opener.
Exactly, and it's so difficult and so tough to play against when you're on the other side. You're kind of thinking, how are they already meshing this well together when we've only just started playing? It's almost like a cheat code to have that you're halfway through the season with fresh players. And a lot of that, I think, is due to the great coaching that they have. We said it before, and we'll say it again probably for a very long time. Missy Mayharg is one of the best coaches that field hockey has ever seen, and Maryland is in a great spot having her at the helm of their team. And with such talented players, they can really execute to perfection almost. And it's been a while, almost 10 years since they've had a national championship, but absence makes the heart grow fonder, and they'll be wanting it more than ever.
The scary thing is only two seniors in this starting lineup with Kyler Greenwald and Brooke Duberdine. So they're going to bring back a lot of talent for 2021, 2022, and beyond. As this is now an opportunity to kind of make some corrections and some tweaks here in the last few minutes as this one is being reviewed here with 4:18 to go in regulation play. Maryland up 2-0 on Michigan State.
So we talk constantly about teams building for the future, and you see that in professional and collegiate sports as well. And the future might just be next year for Maryland. They've had quite a long drought of going without a national championship, and as you mentioned, only two seniors on the squad. Almost everyone will be returning, and if you're another team in the Big Ten and also in the country, that's got to be a scary sight.
Curious to see when they match up, Maryland and Rutgers, how that game would go. Certainly, Maryland is not going to be intimidated by anybody they play, but from a roster composition standpoint, will there be a moment where some of these younger players kind of get facing some adversity, either a tie game or trailing in a game late? It's easy to kind of cruise when you have leads, but when you get faced with adversity in some championship settings or highly anticipated games, how do you respond to those moments? And I think that's something even Coach Mayharg is curious to find out how her girls react to those situations. All right, so the call is to Michigan State's liking as their girls do a little more cheering than Maryland's. See if that can translate to Michigan State drawing closer in these last 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
And a couple of substitutes for Maryland making their way off the field, Castaldo and I believe Zivna. So possibly making some more defensive alterations. They try to secure this victory here. Just 4 minutes to go left in regulation. A 2-goal lead, one coming from Donnelly, the other coming from Zivna in the second quarter. But Michigan State backs against the wall. It's now or never.
You saw a moment ago the aforementioned Merrill Hansen, who was dinged up earlier. Ellie Wheatley, a freshman, trying to ignite some kind of a spark here for the Spartans. And that is deflected. Hansen's stick working. You hear Coach Null yelling to use each other. Don't try to beat him 1-on-5, 1-on-3. That's not going to work against this Maryland Terps team. And the Terps are able to escape that without any damage.
You see that a lot in soccer specifically, and hockey as well. A lot of these fast-moving games where you beat one player and then look to dish the ball off or dish the puck, whatever it might be, because that's one less player that they have to defend, and now you have the numbers advantage. Instead of trying to go through player after player, you get tired, and they haven't had to go through anyone, but you've been battling recently, and it just goes with the teamwork that some of these teams have and the chemistry that they have with each other. And that will just continue to grow, especially for the Maryland roster. Only 2 seniors. It'll be another year of playing together under their belts.
Meredith Ross spells Lulu Fulton for MSU, and we'll see Anna Castaldo check in to finish this one up for Maryland here in a moment. Also checking back in for, looks like Fulton, caught her breath and will come back in as we see Vondervey come out for Fulton there. And that's going to be Clune being replaced by Castaldo. Laser pass, by Bonchak past the Maryland defender. Terps regain it though, and they retreat back past their portion of the 50. Up ahead, they cross.
There's a great pass just out of the reach of number 10, Emma O'Neill of Michigan State, sprawling to try to get to that one.
You can see ordinarily this would be a very dangerous maneuver to pass it back onto your side, but Maryland is so well trained that they know how to break the pressure here. Now they're on the attack, and just simply Michigan State, that was what they wanted, to have it on their portion of the field, and couldn't do anything with it there. So the Terps are going to just milk this clock down the last 80 seconds.
Donrat trying to find a way through the Spartans' defense, but holding strong and almost into the final 60 seconds of the contest here.
Right, throws it back to Verleg. Verleg spins away from a defender, and Fulton playing keep away very, very effectively here in these last 60 seconds as the Terps can smell victory and a 1-0 start to this 2020-2021 campaign.
And I just heard the Maryland assistant coach talking about finding their shape and also communicating on the field. We talked about communication before off the field, but on the field as well, it's so important to have. And haven't quite heard too much of the chatter from on the field today, but I assume that'll only continue to grow as the season goes on.
So with goals from Riley Donnelly, the junior, in the first half, and one right before intermission from sophomore Sam Zivna out of Cox High School in Virginia Beach, the hometown gal, the Maryland Terrapins open up this Big Ten campaign with a 2-0 shutout of the Michigan State Spartans here on Big Ten at the Beach. This final Friday of field hockey action for February 2021, the first Friday of field hockey action for February 2021, as the Terps get it done to move to 1-0. They'll be in action on Sunday at 3 Eastern against Northwestern, while Michigan State takes on Northwestern tomorrow. That's Saturday at 2:30 Eastern. Some final thoughts before we wrap things up. Austin, Maryland, as sharp as you could expect a team to be in its first game in over 400-plus days.
Exactly. You're exactly spot on there. Of course, it's been such a long time since they've been on the field for a game, but didn't really look too rusty at all, and they've been executing their passes really well, taking some nice shots and sort of wearing down the defense of the Spartans. We saw it at the end, dragging them out towards the middle of the field and then quickly trying to find a through ball in to create an opportunity on goal. smart Maryland play from a smart coaching staff as well, and some of the best coaches in the entire country here at Maryland and Spartans in the Big Ten. Some of the best players in the world as well.
So that'll wrap it up here for our first day of coverage here all weekend long on Big Ten Network Plus. Again, earlier it was Rutgers beating Indiana 3-0, Maryland a winner 2-0 over Michigan State. From a broadcast partner, Austin Urch, and all the hardworking people behind the scenes here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach, I'm Matt Hatfield. Thanks for watching this Big Ten at the Beach presented by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals right here on Big Ten Network Plus.